Good to see you there.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here and for caring enough about Montana to show up this morning. At Americans for Prosperity, our work is guided by a clear vision, and that is to transform government by enacting policies that expand freedom and opportunity, to limit government and to remove barriers so that Montanans can do extraordinary things. In order to accomplish this, we need policy champions. So first, we engage in accountability and to strongly encourage our legislators to support our policies by holding them accountable for how they actually vote. Second, and distinctly separate from accountability, we engage in political activity where we endorse candidates who pledge to become policy champions. Our accountability work is not about personalities, it's about policies. And truthfully, and we don't engage in name calling, by the way, or disparage people's character. Truthfully, I'd much rather champion those who are our policy champions. But accountability is uncomfortable. But I'd rather be uncomfortable than bitch and moan and gossip about how bad it is under the dome in Helena and do nothing and enable bad policies to move forward. That is not an option for Americans for Prosperity Montana. It should not be an option for you. So, many of you have seen our mailers and our digital ads. Many of you have seen our mailers and our digital ads, and they are hard-hitting for a purpose. Why? Because we want to capture the attention of voters. We want to honor our donor intent who contributed to us so that our mailers aren't thrown in the receptacle, but get people's attention. So we focused on the bad votes in support of HB2, which increased the state budget by 13.5%. Make no mistake about it. We focused on those who voted to extend Obama's Medicaid expansion program, which is part of his legacy bill, the Affordable Care Act, which has increased costs to taxpayers and has enabled single able-bodied childless adults to get inferior health care that was really meant for the infirmed and the aged, crowding them out. It is a bad bill, and there's no excuse for supporting that. We're sending out mailers and doing digitals on the property tax bill, HB 231, which is likely to provide one-time relief to those who own one home. But those who own multiple properties or large commercial properties, they experienced a tax shift, an increase, and it's a progressive tiered tax system. It is a bad bill sponsored by Lou Jones. So while we do that, we also thank our champions. And on your table, you'll see our legislative scorecard, which is the basis for all of our accountability because we score the votes that are in alignment with our vision. And I want to point out some of the policy champions who are with us here today and were here yesterday. Lee Deming, 100%. Jody Etchert, Greg Kmetz, Braxton Mitchell, 96%. Mike Vinton, 96%. At least I forget you, my friend. Jeremy Trebus, 92%. Tracy Sharp, 91%. Brandon Lair, 90%. Now I want to point out those who are not here with us and how they scored on the lower end. Linda Rexton, 69. Brad Barker, Dave Beatty, 65. Mike Yakowicz, Ed Buttrey, 63. John Fitzpatrick, 60. Lou Jones, 58. George Nikolakakis, 57. Jason Ellsworth, 55. Shelley Vance, 49. Ken Walsh, can't forget that guy, 55. Melissa Nikolakakis, 48. Wendy McCamey, 41. Some of these people scored lower than Democrats. Now, distinctly separate from our accountability program is our political engagement program, where we actually get out and support candidates for office who will be our policy champions, who can win and whom we can help win their election. That's the criteria. And I'm happy to announce our first slate, our initial slate of endorsed candidates for the state legislature. Zach Worth, Senate District 9. Steve LaPream, Senate District 42. Kathy Love, Senate District 43. Trevor Funseth, HD 21. Trevor Walter, House District 69. Trish Schreiber, House District 76. These candidates represent a shift, a significant shift from policy that grows government to one that promises reform, promises economic freedom, fiscal responsibility, and long-term prosperity for all Montana families. That's why we got behind them. So if you want to learn more about our blueprint for the 2027 legislative session, you got the policy guide on your table. You can check us out at blueskyblueprint.com. That's blueskyblueprint.com. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for fighting for freedom from Montana and for future generations. God bless you all.